Tijden veranderen. Daarom heeft Unox nu naast haar klassieke rookworst ook vegetarische rookworst. En vegetarische knaks, gehaktballetjes, paté, stoofpotjes en erwtensoep. Net zo lekker en gelukkig, net zo Unox. Want sommige dingen, daar moet je niks aan veranderen.
De nieuwe Seat Tarraco is een SUV met sportief design en ruimte voor alles. Voor je gezin.
Into a pond, ripples fade away. Human hearts aren't so lucky. Those battle scars remain. Oh, I can't let go of the one thing I wanted most. I'm chasing echoes, echoes of your ghost. Can't let go of the one thing I wanted most. I'm chasing echoes, echoes of your ghost. La da 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 da. La da 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 da.
Good morning everyone, or very late at night or evening, depending on where you are. I'm going to be streaming another realistic tournament for you guys tonight. I streamed EU and Asia earlier today, and now it's NA's turn. Now, the thing about NA is that because Wargaming decided to, instead of having the registration time close an hour before the tournament actually began, as they have been doing last week, they decided to close it in Friday, which was generally quite useless. So now we have to basically deal with NA having only one group. And there we go, I have to activate YouTube, hang on. We have a tournament room, which is also a good thing. And I'm very curious to see where we will end up with, because for EU server I was supposed to be streaming RTK the whole evening, and I had RTK 2 matches, and 2 matches I had a completely random different team. So at the moment I'm waiting for YouTube to let me go live so that I can post on the actual stream. And here we go, we should be live. You will see this in 5 minutes, because there's a 5-minute delay on the stream. That has everything to do with that people can't see each other's lineups. And basically you'll just have to deal with that. There's nothing I can do about it, just to keep things fair. Because if people see each other's lineups, basically they can change the game. Also, my apologies for the Dutch commercial in the sort of buffer zone. That has everything to do with the fact that I refused to pay for Spotify, so for every half hour, and that half hour was apparently up when I just started buffering, they play some commercials. So yeah. So we still have 4 minutes before we go into the match. Plenty of time left for the rest of the teams to actually assemble. And basically that's it. We just have to wait. There's at least 5 players on both sides, so we should have a match. We are going to Desert Sands. This is not the team I should be attached to, by the way, but they only have a match in half an hour. So I'm actually quite happy that I'm attached to something, so that we will at least have some tournament gameplay before then. Overall though, it is a best of 3. There's half an hour planned for these matches, and I've noticed that the matches are generally over within 2.5 minutes thereabouts. So I would be very surprised if I don't have the time to show you some replays, and boy do I have some lined up for you. Some of them, or at least one of them, I've also played in the other streams, but it is well worth a watch. And personally I'm intending to go on a little rant about the whole missile thing, so prepare for that. I will have replays to support that. And both teams are nearly complete. The team DDT is Stinky, which is like, of course you name your team that. It's just, yeah. Versus Old Dudes. I actually like that name. Old Dudes. And we have to wait for 2.5 minutes before we actually get a match. But yeah, we should be fine. So, it's very, very, very early for me. Nearing 3 AM, so I'm quite tired. So my apologies for any derp moments that I might have, and we'll see how well I can perform at this tower. But even though NA is always at a very inconvenient time, they deserve the same kind of exposure that the other service gets. And even though there's only 12 teams now because Wargaming closed registration early, it should still be fun. Realistic tournaments, they are funny. Special game modes tournaments are funny, and people shouldn't take them too seriously. But I actually quite enjoy streaming these because people don't see that you see them. There's no proximity spot that way. And that's something that I find really funny, because it leads to very funny effects where people get shot from behind and only then notice that there's someone behind them. So that kind of stuff, I quite like it, and we'll just, yeah. I would like an Uprising tournament with the respawns even more, or a Mad Games tournament, which is slightly more normal, but both of them would be really good fun. So we have just over a minute left to go. DDT, I'm just gonna call the team DDT, and all dudes, they're nearly ready. And DDT is taking a T62A, 121B, a Foch T57 Heavy, and 3 T22s. And they're gonna go up against 3 T22s, a Leon IS4, a T57 Heavy, and an AMX 50B. That is an interesting choice. Most of the time we've watched the realistic tournaments, both this weekend and last weekend, you see a general spam of E50Ms because they have the DPM a little bit, and they have the RAM factor, and they have the troll armor, and that seems to be the tank to go to. So I'm kind of curious about the T22s, because even though it is a great tank, I've not seen it bounce as much as it should in earlier streams. Most teams do take 1, but not 3. So we are almost ready to go, and here goes countdown clock. I am ready up, so that's not going to be a problem. Both teams are completely there, completely ready. So here we go. Let's see what they do in Desert Sands. Desert Sands, of course, the map with the desert and all of that. Actually like that the 3 T22s on DDT side or all uncatchables. I like dressing up my tanks pretty, so I tend to get that. But oh my god, fake Alan Walker, already saw you in the chat, but I absolutely adore that camo. So let's have a look. See, we see that the blue team does not appear on the minimap, but they are going towards the town. They are leaving the desert side, whereas DDT is all going to the desert side. And they know that they're there, because they have been spotted, even though you don't really see that, because only the ones that are plainly visible have the, you see that the health bar that you see on the side with the name and everything will change slightly. So now they are going to attempt capture base B, but they are visible, showing their sides, and losing some health for it. Not as much as you'd like, as we'd like though. But with the way that they're not really effectively hiding next to each other, Ronin is now in big trouble. And there he goes, first gun out of the way. And DDT is losing a little bit of health for it, but they took off way more. All of them are here in the middle. Both teams have a base, but with the gun disadvantage for all dudes, they are now a tank behind and plenty of points behind. There's some shots being taken into the AMX. AMX is trying to shoot back. Ooh, T-50 Heavy taking a shot there. And this is actually quite cheeky. Look at that health just being eaten away. And it goes multiple ways, because we see more HP vanishing, we see some traces happening. And they're actually waiting for targets, but so far all dudes is making it quite easy for them. They are taking a little bit of health from DDT, but overall, look at the difference in HP. That is 3k difference, but nearly. And we're only 2 minutes into the game. So we have the Leo now going around, wanting to get the shots in. T22 also, we see dudes now making a move. Sniper 360 no scope in a bit of trouble as well. Relatively low on HP. T57 Heavy losing some HP. And this is really it. These two meds here are causing everyone to get quite damaged. And now the AMX is arriving. But they don't have to stay there. They have the point advantage. They have a massive HP advantage. They don't need to take the risk. Hadi moving into the middle is going to get forced. Forced quite badly. He is taking one shot into Killer. But look at the amount of HP he's lost. And he's going to be gone. Alan Walker wants some help. They're crossing over. But so far the second tank has been taken out. Third tank has been taken out. And overall, DDT has very little to worry about. Because they don't need to do anything. They have the point advantage. They have not necessarily base advantage, but more advantage than they need. They don't need to take any risk. And they're at 850 points. We see the other T-22 on the other side. Let's see if I can hop him over. And he's just been destroyed. So we will go back to Alan Walker. And just focus on this side. But there's only 3 tanks left. They don't have that much health. There's only 2 tanks left. They don't have that much health left. And they're going to be killed mainly because they can't. They didn't even need to. And one T-22 medium survives. But he's the only one left. So that is a very big difference in damage between the teams. And that's also saying something. I haven't looked at stats and all in this case. I could do. Because the thing is, I wasn't sure who was going to be streaming, so there didn't seem to be much point to that. So let's ready up, and in half a minute we get to go again. Because for some reason the time between battles has been reduced from 2 minutes to 1 minute, which is quite fast. So I'm going to the tournament bracket now in the Blitz assistant, because there I can see the bracket. And there's only one group, so yeah. But here we go. We see a Sherry, 3 T-22 mediums, a T-57 heavy, a T-628 and a 121B. And they're going to go against... You always have a little bit of time when you load in. So an AMX-50B, a Patchet IS-4, Leo, a Mouse, a T-22 and the E5. So they dropped some of the T-22s. And that kind of makes sense though, because it hasn't been performing as it should. But looking at the stats of both these teams, pretty much DDT should have it. But we have seen teams with relative low stats do a lot better than the stats suggest in other servers. Feast is a prime example of that. So far having gone to the offline stage she was allowed to go to. Scrap Iron losing some HP there. And I wonder if they're going to try and cap base B again. They really shouldn't, but they are. Patchet immediately paying for it. Leo arriving. This is not really the way to go though. If you have a tank, hide the smallest behind the biggest, not the other way around. Oh, he got tracked and he's almost gone. Ooh, Patchet is still alive with 10 HP. But that was very costly and to no avail. There was no reason why that had to happen. It would have been more sense to have the Mouse drive in and to have the Patchet hide behind them. AMX looking over, prepared for anyone that comes over the track. There goes the Patchet, he did not make it. And the E5 is in the same position that the AMX was in the last battle from the no dudes. Old dudes. And no dudes, that doesn't work. But the E5 is more capable of holding that position because it's less easy to shoot it in the face. But basically we see the same thing happening on this side that we saw last match. And the thing is, they don't need to take any chances. They have the point advantage by nearly 100 points, especially now that the Patchet is out of the way. And they can just stay here. Now we see a Sherry. That is this. That is exactly why I feel the Sheridan should not be in the game. shots like that. But yeah. Shots happening. And that actually hitting the building. And we see the mouse and the AMX on the other side, but nothing really happening yet. Sheridan taking a little bit of damage. But just the fact that he took that shot, it's just... those kind of shots should not happen. And that's another failed one, but... they won't always work, but they work often enough. We have the mouse holding on this side together with the AMX. Just taking you over. He still has 2 shells left. And I think he wants to shoot Alan Walker. But the thing is that with the AMX, the face is relatively easy to penetrate, and that is one big reason why it's a risk to take it. So let's go back to the Sheridan on the other side. And so far people are taking a little bit more of a precaution. Look at that. He doesn't even have to show himself, he just has to see Hadi. Scrap Iron losing a little bit more health in the middle there. Leo's pushing. They're pushing on both sides looks like, but not quite. Scrap Iron in a precarious position, but he is facing the same thing that the AMX faced on the other side. He has a shootable face. And that just means that they can do damage even though he's not really doing anything. Now, base B is being kept. T-50 is heavy, doesn't really want to do anything. We have the Leo that is now in trouble. The T-22 that just vanished. But overall though, they will have a very hard time taking this away from DDT. Ooh, that was an expensive miss though, potentially. But now the cavalry is arriving. There goes the AMX. There goes the Leo 1. It is 5 versus 4. But we are 900 points. And they don't really need to worry much. Because they will have time. Even if this mouse manages to bounce a few shots. He's not going to survive for that long. I'm just focusing on this. There he goes. We see the E5 nearly gone. One of the last ones left. And it's not going to make a difference, because if they even kill him now, which they don't, the battle is over and DDT has it, because they had that massive point advantage in the beginning. That just wasn't fixed, so to speak. So well played by DDT. So let's have a look at what else is happening in the chart of this. In the background you can hear a Dutch commercial again, so I'm just going to keep talking because it's annoying and we don't need it. So this is the team I'm supposed to be following. I'm just going to take you over all the teams. There's not really many, clan teams, because most of them are like this. You have teams, people from all over. And they're going to go in 18 minutes. So I'm going to be showing you some replay before then. So I'm actually not sure what team we'll be following, because it didn't exactly go as planned on EU, but we will see. I have some nice ATGM replays for you. I'm going to be showing those, and I'm going to be showing you those mainly because I'm hoping that you will fill in the survey that Hasamat, my fellow CC, is holding about the missiles and whether or not they should be in the game. And I'm gonna start it off with a replay that isn't necessarily epic. Actually no, I'm gonna start you with another one, because the one that I'm talking about you should have seen on Meaty69's channel. So let's have a look at this one then. Iverson is mainly the master of these weird shots that we keep seeing, and the main reason why I feel that you shouldn't be that we shouldn't have missiles in the game. He is epic at it, he really is, but that's also quite worrisome, because that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, yeah, this just shouldn't be in Blitz. Wargaming keeps saying that our maps are too small for artillery, so then they give us missiles. That's just no. Especially if you saw the shot in Canal that literally goes from one side to the map on the other side and still pens. Now even here, he's already aiming at the sky, even though there's no enemy left. Mainly so he will shoot the missile up, and he only has to aim with his with his line of sight. Really, he doesn't even need to be seen or anything, and he's just here. And he's just looking up. And I wonder if he's going to get this shot. And he's just using the lookout area a little bit here. No one seems to be there, but they don't have any lights or mediums, so that could stand to reason. Of course, they do have the three TDs. They could potentially prove very deadly and very painful. Oof, that did not pan. So let's see what's gonna happen here. He is being careful. He just doesn't have really much targets yet, but he knows there's someone there. There goes the Force. And that's actually a very quick switch, because he goes back to APCR. And he actually just... He didn't miss because he did hit, but it didn't pan. And these are the kind of shots I mean. He's safe, he can't get shot there, and he still packs the wall up. But you also know that there's another TD camping at the back there. So now she's going back to the rest of the team. That's a good call, I think. His tournament team not all too happy. Let's see what he does here. This is a good spot for missiles. And look at that. Oh my god. That's so not fair. But this is exactly my point though. I mean, look at him. He's safe behind the hill. He doesn't need to take any chances. And he's just doing shots like that. This is... I'm actually asked Iverson for some replays. Because of the fact that I wanted to rant about the missiles on stream, because I think it's the best place to stream. And there we go, another one. His team is steadily vanishing. He's not really in the best of positions, but overall, look at just the shots that Iverson is getting in. Oh my lord. There we go. But now he needs to be a little bit careful. It's 3 versus 4 now. And that could potentially be a problem. Big hit. Brill should be behind there somewhere though. Oh no, he's in the middle. He actually moved. That's a good thing. Because that means that this 113 is now in trouble. And there he goes. And now it's 2 versus 2, but we're 3.5k damage in. And Iverson is still full health. He doesn't need to take any chance. He only needs to shoot above the hill. Which is exactly what he's doing now. There goes a missile and a big chunk of damage. Force not looking too healthy. Versus the tanks it's supposed to be. And Iverson goes in even though he gets a hit. Ooh, that was an expensive non-hit. And he's backing away. That's a good call in this case, because I would probably run too. When I had guns like this looking at me. He just needs to be careful. Oof, that bounced though. Let's see. No, Fosh is hiding. We know there's a grill somewhere, but now is the time to cross over. And I think he shot the rock there. Oof, HE. That means that he can still generally take a hit from either or both of them. I think it's mainly the Fosh that he needs to be careful for. Where are they going though? I wonder if that hit. I think the grill's gonna cover base, because that would make sense. Fosh not so much, but the Fosh is just holding. Let's see what he does. There's not that much time left. Let's see. There's a Fosh. There's a Fosh hit. Grill in the meantime is in base B. Ooh, that missed though. That is expensive. And that is another one. So now it's 42 seconds to finish a potential one-shot in the middle of the map, hiding behind a rock. Will that happen though? Nope. 25 seconds left to go. Yeah, I think that's what he needs to do as well. 12 seconds left to go. He just needs to make certain that it pans. Will it? Will it? Oh, it does! With HE, tricky shots, risky shot, but it works. Well done. Wow, 6k damage in a tournament match. That's well done, very well done. But those kind of shots are exactly why Messer should not be in the game. So, we still have 9 minutes left to go, but that means that in 4 minutes the room shall be up, which means that I'm not going to be showing you another replay here. So we'll just have to be a little bit patient and see what happens. Overall though, I mean, plenty of people do the derpy shots and enjoy that, but still see that it should not be in the game. I'm personally not a fan of the whole thing where it renders cover and angling and all of that's basically useless. That's the whole thing that I have against this. And I really want to keep the Sheridan and the T92E1, but as proper lights without the missiles. Someone just shouted and said, Sheridan should not be nerfed. I'm not necessarily calling for a nerf, I'm calling for a change. I want the Sheridan, just not the missiles, that's all. Oh. But yeah. It's that kind of stuff, I don't know, it just doesn't fit. There's no reason. I actually have a replay that I'll show you after the next matchup. Also in the Sherry, but with phenomenal results. And it also goes to show that the missiles, yes, they can be derpy, but when you get those shots in, it's really unfair. So yeah, in the meantime, I have a bundle of swords for sale. I really don't want to buy anything on discount, because this is a press account, it's not mine, it's Wargaming's. And I'm mainly using it just to stream tournaments. I did get some messages, I know that has to be from a friend on, from someone on my friend list. But I will only check them after the stream, because you never know what someone is sending you and whether that is suitable for a stream or not. So 2 minutes left before the room is up, and then 5 minutes wait before we actually see a battle, so that is plenty of time. I'm more curious to see which who we're actually streaming. But we'll see. It should be the team Realistic gets, but we'll see. In the meantime, I really enjoy this tank and really enjoy the camo. Its gold is gaudy. and it just looks so good. I am not one for the whole realism thing, like literal realism, as in it has to have been in war and all of that. Most of the tanks that we have been plants and nothing else, but with camos like this, I like it when a tank is shiny. Same with the Chieftain. I mean, look at this. No one in the right mind would ever paint a tank like this and actually take it out in battle, but it just looks so cute. And the same with this. I like shiny things. I like dressing up my tanks. So yeah. Not much else to talk about at this stage, at this time of night. We still have about half a minute left to go, I expect, before we actually get an invite to the room, and then we will see what team is there, what team there is. So yeah, if you have any questions, by all means ask them. Just know that because of the 5-minute delay, there will be at least 5 minutes between you asking it and my actually answering it. I actually regret both Rain and Pramo did not make a team this weekend. They weren't gonna, to be fair, but I think there would be a lot more teams if the registration period hadn't closed that early. Because that's the thing though, even Asia has 22 teams and NA has only 12. So basically means that the people that we see in the top 4 tonight are the same people that we're gonna see tomorrow. So that's going to be interesting because they will have been used to each other's lineups and everything. This looks at least like we're in the right team, real as it gets. And we're up against Esquadron. So now we just have to wait for everyone to be there and to be ready, and for the game to be ready in 4.5 minutes. I find the choice of tanks interesting because so far the choice of tanks in NA has differed a lot from the choice of tanks I've seen in the other servers. But that only makes it more fun, to be fair. Enemy team having 6 people. I wonder if they're gonna have a 7th. We still have 4 minutes, so plenty of time for that. So basically we see more T-22s on Realistic Tournament's side. I wonder if they're gonna stick with that. I mean, this is why there's a 5-minute delay, so they can pick the tank straight off without it being leaked to everyone that is watching YouTube. Just keeps it fair. 3.5 minutes left to go. Empty space to basically fill with cheddar. Honestly, don't know what to say. The thing is that in other times of the day, that's a lot easier because I'm more awake then. But I had a few hours of sleep before getting up again to stream this, so I'm kind of like still sleepy. Basically, this weekend, my whole weekend will be sleeping, eating, and streaming, and that's it. I actually took Monday off, so I could stream NA tomorrow as well. Basically, NA doesn't get the love that it deserves. There's very few streamers that do it, and the streamers that are generally have a very different time zone, which makes it tricky for them to stream NA. Like for me, when it starts at 3 AM, but same thing for Brian, because he's in the same time zone. Brian is Falling Swarm, by the way, and he is fantastic. If you haven't subbed to him, definitely do. But that kind of stuff makes it difficult, because there's the whole CCU program got cancelled in NA. And the only one we have left is Hubert Jazz, and he is not streaming tournaments. We have Pixel Rage that does it at times, but he also plays, so it's tricky. This is the best quote I see in the chat. Arvidsson is the best missile driver in NA by far. He's constantly godlike in them, and that is so true. That's also why I asked him for replays to back up the fact that ATGM shouldn't be in the game. But he feels that way himself as well. So, here we less than 2 minutes left to go. It doesn't seem to be getting any better than that. I wonder if the enemy team Esquadron is even going to have a 7th player. But we'll see. In the meantime, we have Realistic Gats with 2 T22 mediums, 2 Foshes, 2 Batchats and the E5. E5 is getting some love as well, I quite like that. And, oh, there's a 7 player on the other side. We see 3 IS4 there, a mouse, an E3, a 215B and potentially another mouse. So we just need him to ready up and then both teams at least have a full team, because that would make things quite a lot better. Just over a minute left to go. Actually, I'm eager to show you the replay that I had that I showed earlier today as well. I'm quite curious what Iverson will think of it, to be fair. Not sure if he's still watching, but will be fun. No, there's no prizes to be had for watching this. This is basically Wargaming, just giving us something fun to watch. Basically, the only streams that you generally get something for are the ones with Spring Season or Twister. And that all depends on what Wargaming wants to do. So, in 20 seconds now, we will go in the mouse ready up. So that's a very heavy lineup on Esquadron's side. That's so far not really work, but we'll see. The thing is that they generally lack the DPM. So it will be will depend on where they are on the maps and whether Realistic allows them to be shot. And here we go. I love Kebab by Novel. I mean, that name though. I like when it's not really not too serious. I mean, of course you need to take the game serious up to a level, but a lot of people forget that it's a game and they start raging when they lose or when they get ammo wrecked. And of course it can be frustrating, but it's not exactly fair to take it out on your team when you make mistakes yourself. So when I see a name like that, I know that that player at least will not take the game all that seriously. So we see both sides heading towards the base A side. And I'm kind of curious to see what will happen here. The Batchat's going through the middle. I wonder if they're going to cap base B. Or if they're just going to... No, they are capping. Bold move. Both on the side so that they can see. And the mouse is slowly heading towards base B, but they still have some time to get away. Batchat now going to meet a mouse. Taking a big hit there. And then deciding, yeah, let's not be here. In the meantime, we see Kebabbed getting shish kebabbed. Taking a lot of damage there. And apparently unable to get the base there. The mouse, no, going after Scorpius. And that will be tricky. He might be able to run away, but it could cost him quite a lot of health. Base C is gonna get capped, base A is being capped. And they just need to be very careful. Scorpius still safe, but impronounceable name. Running away now. They're giving up on base A, but they have 2 bases. It should be enough. But they need to survive, and they're losing so much HP. Look at that poor Batchat, barely alive. But he is still alive. And that's the key part. Base A now being capped, but if they play it carefully, they have 2 bases, they don't need to take any chances. Now though, if they had stayed at base C, they could decap base B, but with 2 tanks capping and looking in the right direction, that could be very tricky. And we see Realistic gets immediately responding, but not in time. The base has been capped. And we see Rose now moving in, getting another shot into that IS-4, but taking a shot as well. The Batchat's still alive, but not anymore. IS-4 taking a hit. Nice big hit into the mouse there. Let's see if they can take him out. Massive damage to the mouse now. And they are... Oof, FV almost gone as well. That is a bounce because you were pulling back and moving too much. There he goes. The mouse is playing really, really well, to be fair. He's almost dead. Now the T22, look at Golden Nuggets, how many oof he is even destroyed for it. And this is something where Realistic Gets just rushed into it. They didn't need to. They took so many chances, and yes, there are a few low health tanks, but they're not being taken out. When you basically lose most of your HP trying to get them, trying to kill them. E3 heading, ooh, that is a big hit. Mouse potentially going to finish it off. Nope, still alive. But look at this. This is not going to go well for the bad chat. There he goes. And now there's only 2 of them left. You have Rose left. And the T22. But they're not going to make it. And there goes Kebab by Noel, who seemed to be dying very quickly fast. Rose still alive, but he's not. She's... I'm going to assume she is not going to make it. And does not get the last shot in. And Esquadron takes the first victory home. This is basically... Realistic Gets should have had this. But the way that they basically threw tanks at base B, it did not quite work out because it just... They didn't do enough damage fast enough. And they exposed themselves quite a lot. I mean, especially look at Golden Nuggets going into base B. Side-hugging the mouse, which was a good call. But then he got hit so hard, he got set on fire and everything. He was just wiped out. So in 17 seconds we get to go again, and we see that the Esquadron is now taking a sherry. They're taking 3 mice, 2 ice force and a sherry. First an E5 and STB, a 215B, 2 forces, another E5 and a Batchat. So let's see how that will go. And this is basically Wargaming attaches me to the team that they feel is most likely to get to the finals. So that's also saying something about Wargaming's expectations about Realistic Gets. So let's see what's going to happen now, if they're going to try again to cap that base B like that. As long as they have an early cap advantage, they don't need to bother with base B though, and that's something that I'm hoping people will remember. And we see the forces, the Batchat and the SCB heading towards base C. Whereas the blue team, that does not show up on the minimap in case you hadn't noticed, is going to go towards base A. And we see the rest of Realistic Gets heading towards the middle, which I think is a good call. Because if they cap that base early, but those 3 mice though, I wonder if they're going to cap it in time. But try. This is going to be very tricky. Shots happening both ways. Mouse now arriving. One of the force... Ooh, big hit into the back of the E5 there. Narwhal getting narwhaled. She's kebabbed. There's over the Panzer plenty. 215B backing off. Mouse. The side showing. I think he's having issues. I think it's the same one that was back in the spawn. But even if you get that AFK out, that gun though, if you get him away, that can make all the difference. Rose is not looking too healthy. There goes one mouse. Rose using the rocks to keep safe. The E5's gang up on the mice. They just have to be very, very careful. Thing is, E5s are troll, and I'm not sure why they're shooting that mouse now, instead of the ones in front of them. There we go, that's the second gun out of the way. Much more patient gameplay by Realistic Gets now, and it's paying off. They have the 2 bases, they don't need to take any chances. They have to be careful with the sherry though, because that's gonna land big booms. Force is going to arrive behind Kebabbed, and that is a big hit. Sherry pulled back, Force in the middle is getting shot from the other side. The Forces can move in. And he's trying to angle. There goes Kebab. Golden Nuggets not likely to survive this either. Rose finally died, but survived so much longer than I thought she would. STB now hiding. They don't need to take any chances, and they're all down, which is a very big risk. Force taking a big hit. Foch going after the Foch. But also getting a big hit from the mouse in the rear. They're taking so much chance. They're also not taking out the one-shots. And that is very... Ooh. That is very painful. 930 points though. They only need to survive. Base C is out of reach. They don't need to take any chances. They just need to survive. And they're at 960 points. 65. STB has to live. E5 has to live. The Sherry wants to take him out. There goes the STB. And again, it looks like Realistic Gets is giving this away. Batchat is the only one left now. And as long as if he runs and survives, he's fine. If he doesn't run, that's gonna hurt. There we go. Scorpius takes it home. But more by luck than by anything else, to be fair. These are the kind of games that I'm just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Only I don't feel the need to shout on stream, so. But we have a tiebreaker coming up for that reel, which is fun. Because tiebreakers mean more tournament games. But the thing is that both games, Realistic Gets seem to not be coordinating that well together. They're also taking massive risks trying to take out people when they don't need to take out anyone. When they have the point advantage like that, they can let the enemy make the push and make the mistakes, only they're not doing that. I think they're mostly impatient. But here we go, E5, STB, another E5, 2 Foches in the Batchat versus 3 Eyes, 4, Stu Mouse, a Sheridan and a Foch. So let's see how that's gonna go on that reel. Actually quite like Esquadrons. They're doing a lot better than I thought they would with the whole heavy lineup that they've been using. Because so far with the realistic tournaments we see that the teams are taking very mobile lineups, Object 140s, E50Ms, mainly E50Ms, some T22s and all of that. And this is the first time that we see heavies being used and that being quite effective. I think that's also because well, you need the DPM of course, and the short armor definitely helps, but DPM helps a lot. So let's see where everyone is going. We have the blue team heading towards base B and A, more towards the middle there. And we see the red team doing pretty much the same thing. We're gonna have some interesting spots here. Sheridan going for an early and cheeky cap. If he gets away with that though, that would be amazing. Base C now being kept. Base A being kept. And the Sherry's gonna take it home. He now needs to get the heck out of there. Eyes full, moving in a direction. Reactive armor on the E5 active. That is a big miss. There, Rose takes some damage, but so far she's escaped remarkably well. Sheridan arriving. E5s are pretty much caught together, and that could be a big risk, but they're not shooting the same target. Esquadron, that is. And as long as they're not doing that, they could potentially just be fine. Foch is arriving. They're still reloading though. Rose is almost gone. Kebabs is almost shish kebab. There goes one. And the Foch wants another one. But again, they're not shooting the same target, and that's the main issue here. If they were focus firing better, it would look a lot better for Esquadron. But look at the way that they're positioned. This eye's full. Ooh, there he goes. Lagundo not looking too healthy. People are face-hugging each other. And not really surviving in it. Overall, it looks like Realistic Gets is going to take this home. But I'm not entirely certain yet, because it's going every which way. Oof, that is an expensive miss on the mouse. And we see people dealing with tanks all over, but they're not really, they don't seem to be... Ooh. And then ignoring the one-shot e5. STB needs to get the heck out of there. But if you're driving into a wall, that's not going to happen. There goes the mouse. There goes the Sheridan. And now we can safely say, with only one guy left, that it will be real as it gets that goes through. And that is the tricky thing. Can he take them out? Not in time, because now the Batcha is going to be behind him, and that's going to be the end of the Foch. There he goes. But I'm quite... This is the difficult part, because, well... it wasn't really smooth gameplay. But well played by both teams. It looked to be going to Escort on side for a while. But they just didn't finish off the one-shots, and that allowed Realistic Cats to just keep their guns. And that means more DPM and everything. And that worked out very well for them. But now in 50 minutes we will have another tournament match with as probably real as it gets. Let's see how everyone is doing. So this DDT is through Heartless, Infiltrate and Real as it gets. Those are the ones that we're gonna see in the semifinals. Those are the ones that we will also see tomorrow, because that's the top 4 it will be all about. So with that in mind, we still have 15 minutes. I'm going to show you one more replay. And I'm going to show you a replay that is insane. Iverson, I hope you're watching. Because this... I've seen high damage games. This is something quite new. So let's see how he does. He's from a French clan on the EU server. Zaz is someone to watch, not necessarily because of what he does, but because of what he says, because he turns out quite spammy and that would be really annoying, but afterwards you start to appreciate him more. Layla, yes, I am supposed to be sleeping, but there was an NA tournament and I wanted to stream. But I am going back to bed after this. Now this guy is definitely very helpful. Look at the way that he just peeks it up and over, losing a ton of health straight off. And he's now a one-shot for anyone and everyone. So we are moving in. I actually have no idea how that shot panned, because with the way he was driving up the cover, and you actually hear a missile fly by and not pen. So let's see how he does here. Nice shot. But now he's in a little bit of trouble. There's guns all over and he doesn't have that much support. And because he is who he is in a sherry, he has a long reload. But he's not really taking any chances, and I quite like that. He's waiting until he knows that the shot that he has will pen. The Ram unfortunately doesn't kill him, so he is losing quite a bit of HP just to get this done. And this is he's not actually getting the kill shot, but he gets a bit of a field shot in the tracks of the T92E1. And at this stage he's either distracted or just waiting to reload. He doesn't need to take any chances. Here we go. This is something funny because at first I thought he was just gonna ignore the E100 altogether. Well, he decides not to. He gets a nice shot in, drives against the wall, but pulls back. And the funny thing is the E100 is not paying attention to him at all. But teammates disappearing left and right, that can be a tricky thing for this team. And only now, when he's reloading and the E100 can't shoot him, he's slowly turning towards our Sherry, and they don't like that. But when the E100 has fired, and so has his last remaining teammate, he's actually... there he goes. Now he's in a Kolobanov situation. And he needs to get the guns out of the way. But he's up against a full health grill, full of E100, and now 1 E100 less. So that is very tricky. And this is a big risk that he's taking, but the grill actually misses. And that is very, very helpful. So he lands a nice shot there, and then he has to be careful because he's not looking that healthy. And especially when he loses that much health, that means he's now a one-shot for both of them. The grill shoots but doesn't actually pen, which is very lucky for our Sherry. And now we see a missile, but you see, because he was actually looking at the building once, you saw the missile change direction very drastically. But he is in a bit of a pickle, he needs to be very careful here. But when the grill does that, tracks himself falling down, that's actually a very good thing for our Sherry. But look at that, he's already 6.1k damage. And now he just needs to wait until he can get the shot safely. And there he goes. Now we have an E100. And he has to be careful, but the E100 drops down as effectively as the grill did. And that allows our Sherry to run away. And this is what I meant. Zev says is now calling for upvotes and all of that. It's just really sweet. So let's see what he does now. He has 2.5 minutes about left to take out a full health E100. And this is also something I find funny, except a proximity spot by someone that's below you. Overall though, this is not an easy game at all. E100 hitting the ground definitely helps, but it takes out a nice little chunk of his health. So let's see what he does now. The E1s are disagreeing on both sides. But this is the thing though, I like the way that Sherry is driving, not just because of the damage, but also because you see that he's like overthinking, not overthinking it, but like thinking it over properly before doing something. He's changing direction, going to a place where he doesn't think the E100 will expect him, because that makes it a lot more likely for him to get the shots in that he needs to finish this off. So here we are, there's an E100, that's an easy APCR with a high max roll. So now he will need 2 or 3 more shots to take out the E100. And the max roll definitely helped with that. So now he just needs to, like I said, be careful, because he's a one-shot and these positions are nice but they're tricky. And this rocket does not do what they intended to. I'll get into the free camera after this match. And this is mainly another reason why I feel the missile should not be here. Because look at this, he's safe behind cover, the E100 hits the cover. And he doesn't need to take any chance at all. He just needs to see him. He's shooting in sniper mode, which I think is a good call, but he wouldn't even really need to do that. Iverson probably wouldn't do that. But look at this. He's just pulling back behind the cover of the wall. The E100 is waiting. Probably not entirely certain what to do. I don't think he has very high stats. I mean, he is called Ronaldo Whatbot, and Ronaldo plays soccer. He doesn't do the whole... And there we go, and there we go. We have 3 seconds left to spare. The game is over and he won. But it's just a shame that he's as easy at the end, because this wasn't easy. But look at that, 8,738 damage, 1,811 base XP. Kolobanov, high caliber of course. That is just ridiculous. That kind of stuff. He even gets a defender for 80 base defense points. But just him being able to shoot like that, without exposing himself as much and without making himself a target, because he could stay behind the wall for the most part, that is the part that I feel makes missiles not something for Blitz. Now, as for the free camera thing, you have to be on PC for it. You have to be a spectator, of course. And then you can control, if you press Ctrl V on your keyboard, you will go into free camera mode. There's more commands with the speed and everything. But yeah, that's basically how you get into free camera on spectator mode. But it won't work on a touch device. Only on PC. So that's something to keep in mind. Now we are 2 minutes away from getting the next room invite, so we're just gonna wait for that. Overall though, that game, I love that game because it's an epic game. And the Sherry played really well, thought about it, relocated and everything. And the E100 did know about quite a bit, which probably helped a lot. But overall, it was a great game. And doing AK damage is a very rare thing, at least it is for me. I've only done it once myself on the E100 on Himmelsdorf. And that was ages ago. But it's just an insane damage number, to be honest. So yeah, now we just need to wait a little bit, and then we have to wait another half hour for the last match, and then we have to wait until tomorrow again. Actually, let's have a look at what this offer actually is. The bargain premium thing, the Matilda Black Prince. That's actually just the same thing that's in the store, isn't it? I think it was. No, here. No, that's a different Matilda. Okay. Yeah, okay, no, then it's not in the store. That's a very cheap T9 though. T55 for €17. That's nuts. So we are sticking with Realistic Gets, and we're going up against DDT is Stinky, that we've also seen play before. And I hope that the teamwork for both teams will just pull together a bit more, because the potential is definitely there. But I have a feeling that these teams are a bit thrown together randomly, and that kind of shows. It also shows in the clan text, because generally people will play either for their clan, but rarely you see a proper tournament team that is made up out of all kinds of different clans. And I think that's the same thing here. I mean, they're probably all voiced together somewhere, but they don't seem to be taking it that seriously, which of course is a good thing. But it's made for some very close calls so far. So we have Realistic Gets already ready with 4 E5s, a grill, a T22 medium in the bad chat, and Rose was just talking in the chat about how she does not like the E5. I no longer like the E5 that much. It's a good tank, but I prefer the T95 E6. And that's everything to do with the fact that they took away the cupola. And I really liked it with the cupola, because the cupola, even though it was considered a weakness, it was also the most troll piece of armor of the tank. But yeah. Both teams now have 7 players, that's generally a good thing. And I have a feeling, just a hunch, that Rose won't be driving the LT Visa 38. Neither will Kebab be driving the Hago. Just a hunch. But they still have 2 minutes and 37 seconds left to go, so plenty of time to still joke around a little bit and still get the tanks left. Type 64, of course, is a real good choice for a tier 10 tournament. And we see Chimera. Chimera is one of the tanks. I haven't driven it yet. I would have wanted it mainly because of the name and the fact that I'm a big fan of mythology. But it costs too much. I'm not getting it. So let's see. DDT is almost ready with a T62A, a 268, a 215B, a T57 Heavy, 2 T22s and another 215B for the map Oasis Palms that we also saw one of the replays on. Oasis Palms, interesting map. Funny thing is that with the realistic tournaments, I noticed that everyone is, well, most of the time people are going A and B Whereas in random battles, people tend to go C instead. And now Realistic seems to have decided on a final lineup of a grill, 4 E5s, a T22 and a Batchat. So apparently the troll armor profile of the E5 does work. And it is a heavium, which means it makes it more versatile than some. And we still have 1 minute left to go before we go into the battle of the third matchup of tonight. And we'll see what happens. Like I said, these teams are both through to the next round tomorrow, so they don't really have anything to lose. They can just relax now and have fun with it. Kebab potentially changing his tank with 35 seconds left to go. No, he's sticking with the E5. 25 seconds left to go. I already told you, actually no, you're still seeing the replay, so you will hear it soon. Hello everyone that's watching, by the way. And here we go. And let's see what's gonna happen. With all those E5s, I'm fairly certain that they will be actually going towards base A. They can do it well in at base C, but yeah. Not sure what Rose is talking about, but it does sound funny. Oh, that's right, I did do an insane damage on in the 183 on Castilla. Don't quite remember how much that was though. We'll have to look it up after. So the E5s are going to meet a lot of tanks at base. Yeah, no, I would not risk that. But they are, and that could potentially be dangerous, especially since doing it together. And all of them are moving in, and that can be very, very costly. So far, some nice bounces though. E5's doing it well. And they have base A. Rose moving quite aggressively. Killer getting shot. Now we see HE being lost everywhere. And we've basically entered the brawl stage very early on in the game. Crew having almost reloaded. They need to take out those tanks. They need to take out the guns. Sergeant Lura not looking too healthy. There he goes. And there goes T22 as well. So that's a massive gun advantage. But there goes Sergeant Lura. And they seem to be working quite well together now. Dot just got taken, DDT just got taken out. The Batchat now moving away. T62A not looking too healthy. There he goes. And we only have 3 tanks yet. I'm actually stuck against the red line, which is very annoying. I'm actually trying to give you more of an overview. We see the 215B being generally murdered. The Foch wanted to T-Vitz and Heavy moving in. T62A. I'm Object 268. That's the word I was looking for. Who wanted to get that Batchat, but now the Batchat is behind him. And he gets another massive hit in, but he's now the only one alive. Batchat is now reloaded, and there he goes, blown to smithereens. And the Batchat still lives. Damage-wise, is not all that far apart, but just the difference in focus fire was phenomenal. Very well played this time by Realistic. And now we have 40 seconds left to go. Do you guys like realistic mode? Asked Addy. I actually don't. I like the tournaments in it because it's a different angle and people have to think differently. But as a game mode, it's not my thing. And we see that for the second match on Oasis Palms, we see another Same lineup as last time on Real's Get side. And on the other side we see IS-4, 268, 215B, T-57 Heavy, 2 T-22 Mediums and another 215B. And here we go, ready to go into the second match of this matchup. All matches today are best of 3, tomorrow the grand finals will be at best of 7. So we get a few more matches done. For tournaments like this though, I like the old game mode tournaments because it's more fun. Because it makes people think outside of the box. Random statements are random. So again we see similar action happening. The Batchet going through the middle this time. He might see some people early. And the E5 sending towards base A again. Followed by their grill. It worked out really well last time, but this time their side is a little bit less open. T-22 has been spotted, but takes no damage for it. E5's arriving. Reactive armor immediately activated, but look at the HP being bled from Killer there. And this is where the armor profile. Sergeant Laura losing some HP. Bounces happening all around. Golden Nuggets moving in. Rose moving in. Rose getting absolutely wrecked there. T-57 Heavy is not going to let that juicy target get away. Rose in big trouble now. But overall, trying to protect Rose is also costing him quite a bit of HP. Rose is not going to survive for much longer. One more reload. And there she goes. Turret flying and everything. And now Kabot by Narwhal is in trouble. He's next in line. That's the second gun gone for them. Golden Nuggets now in trouble. They're actually getting in each other's way a little bit. And there he goes. Grill. 268 moving in. Wanted to get a nice HE shot, but he actually turns it around. Massive HE shot into the grill there. Grill is not going to survive for much longer. Not with the tanks that they have. There he goes. And 215B Killer is not going to survive this. But overall, it is 4 versus 3. That is a big hit into Scorpius there. There goes the Batchat. There goes the 268. Sergeant Laura is still alive, but not anymore. And now only Marker D's is going after Legundo, the last one left. And we'll get another tiebreaker. Because there's not much else this can go towards. And there he goes. Another flying turret. And that's the end of the match. Again, well, this time it's a little bit more damage difference, 4k. But overall it goes quite well. But again, this is the problem with the team Reels Against that is what we've seen so far. They lose when they get too hasty, when they push too aggressively, when they want something too much and don't take the risks into account. In this case, getting into base A like that and Rose losing that much health with a little bit of a push is basically what cost them the game. So with 15 seconds left to go, we see again 4 E5s Grill T-22 in the Batchat on one side and an IS-4, 268, 215B, a T-57 Heavy and 3 T-22 mediums on the other side. And here we go for the last match of the evening. And let's see how that's gonna work out on that reel. Just a hunch that they know each other. I do like, again, that there's a little bit of friendly banter, nothing rude, and overall people just getting along. I'm actually going to take you another way because I think we'll see Scorpius potentially getting absolutely wrecked. They going left. I see. And Batchet is getting the heck out of there. Laguno not so much. Base B being capped. Base C being capped. Ooh, 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 poor Miklo. The T-22 suffering quite a bit there. The Batchet arriving. Lagundo pulling away. But they took out quite a bit of HP from that T-22. And a little bit more there. Base C has been capped, base B has been capped, but Realistic has a big point advantage now. Killer, quite careful. There goes Miklo. It was the end of him. And that gives him more points, but it also gives him a gun advantage, and that can be very dangerous in a mode like this. Thing is, I always have to look at where the blue team is, all of them. Mainly because they don't appear on the minimap. Oof, the grill losing some health there. And we see the E5s turning around, heading back, except for Golden Nuggets, which is holding the front line together with Scorpius. E5 and T22 moving up. Rose asking if base A should be capped. That bounced though. Oh, Scorpius taking a big hit there. Too much happening. Ooh, oh, Grill just absolutely got annihilated. Nice shot by the fake Alan Walker. Batchet moving down, narrowly avoid getting hit again. But base A is not being capped. Both teams have lost the gun now. But Realistic still has the HP advantage and the point advantage. And now we see Scorpius heading back potentially to cap base A. There we go. And that means that DDT will have to make a move. They need to get that base, and that's exactly what Killer is now doing. The 215B is holding, and basically Golden Nuggets wants to get that shot in, but it's a very precarious position that he's in. He has to be careful, and they're looking at him. He does reset it though, but he's losing HP for it. Not as much as we would like, but there he goes. Thing is, as long as he's in there, they won't get any points from base B either. 215B getting in, they need that base. Golden Nuggets almost gone, but Killer not looking too healthy. There goes Nuggets. And we have the T22 Lagundo heading around the back. The Batchet not looking too healthy either. They want to get that Batchet out of the way. Killer in trouble. Will they be able to get him out? They're getting in each other's way a little bit, which is not a good thing. Batchet now arriving. And there's guns everywhere, people dying everywhere. But overall it is 5 versus 3. And it looks to be DDT's game. All the E5s moving away. Didn't work out well. T-15 Heavy is gonna need help here. Scorpius is gone. 2 tanks left. T-15 Heavy is face-hugging the E5. Who's almost gone. He can HE him to death now. There he goes. And only Sergeant Laura is left. And he's not gonna stay. There we go. He's not gonna stay alive much longer, I was gonna say, but he was already gone then. And DDT takes it home for tonight. But like I said, the teams that we saw in the top 4 today will also be the teams we see in the top 4 tomorrow. Not necessarily top the tournament tomorrow, because then we get double elimination, but because there's only one group in NA, there's only one group of finals in NA as well. So we know for certain who we will be streaming. One of those 4. So that is the game for tonight. This was a relatively long game, also a tiebreaker and everything, so I'm quite happy with that. And we actually know we still need another matchup. This was the semifinals, wasn't it? Let's have a quick look. This DDT is through. Yeah, no, we still get a match tonight. In about 15 minutes. This is the thing where I'm looking at the clock and that's not really right. We need another matchup. Yeah, we are getting one. But DDT, Heartless, Infiltrate and Realistic are the ones that we will be seeing tomorrow as well, regardless. So I should still get an invite for the finals in 50 minutes. Which means I'm going to show you another replay. Let's decide what we're gonna see. I think we've seen enough. I'm actually going to seen enough Sherry. I'm actually going to play another one that one of the guys that is watching is of Name Blaze Infinity, Nightmare Gamer. He actually asked me to watch this and tell him what he did wrong. So I'm going to be seeing if I see anything that he's doing wrong. He doesn't use an avatar. Graphic camera on the STB. Loading in a little bit late there. Yeah, Steam is driving it though. Oh my god, he's sniper moding. That doesn't happen too often. He has to be a little bit careful. He's a bit YOLO here though. Oof, but he doesn't lose that much health over it. But there's a Jaeger behind there, so he has to be careful with that. Especially when they make it that easy, it's not hard to get the shots in. But that's one thing. Be a bit more careful in the beginning. To not expose yourself too much. Especially with the Jaeger there. The Jaeger can do very big booms and it can hurt a lot. So now he's driving around the box, which I think is a good thing, because then he can take a more defensive position. Where he is now, if we were to peek over the hill a little bit there, he's not as likely to get Jaegered for it. And the STB does have amazing gun depression. It can take a lot. He's a little bit careful. T-62A that flanked them has just been destroyed. But there's another one there, and the Leo. But they're not looking at him, so he could take a little bit more chance than he's doing right now. Ooh, that bounce though. A little bit too hasty. You have a little bit of turret armor. They're not looking at you. The Leo was. But he's not going to risk it. That was shooting the ground. He didn't aim. So far, being a bit too careless with peeking out. 263 is heading around the back there. No. Ooh, that was a lucky bounce though. Look at the 263 just being obliterated there. Basically what you're doing wrong here, Mutsu, is your impatience. You're not aiming. The shots that you've missed are all because you haven't aimed. There's a Jaeger looking at you. Ooh, but you bounced him, you lucky. Same with the E4, you bounced him as well. But you're, in ways you're a bit too careful, and in ways you're too reckless. But I think your main problem is that you're not aiming. There's an E4 that is very happy-go-lucky. Very YOLO. And there goes the E4. Sherry there needs killing as well. Yeah, it's hard to get around the rock with a missile. Oof, that is a lucky sidewinder. And there he goes. So basically, Mutsu, less YOLO in the beginning, a little bit less. Oof, that was a nice missile hit. No, you could see what's behind the building there. But overall, you need to be a bit more patient with your shots. Oof, nice fire. Nice finishing off by his teammate. So we have a Leo left and another Jaeger. Leo is still alive, I have to give him that. He's even taking out people. And that's the end of Leo. Now it's just a matter of getting behind the Jäger. Ooh. And activating his adrenaline. This is exactly the time to do that if you want to get a little bit more extra damage. Well done, Mutsu. He seems to be AFK. He's almost gone. 4.5k damage. And there we go. That's the end of the match. Well done. Nice ace. This was still in the lunar event. Nice tune score as well. Well played. But yeah, a little bit less YOLO in the beginning, a little bit less careful later. This thing is with the position that you were in, the Jaegers couldn't shoot you. Only the Leo and the T-62A could. And you were waiting a lot of time, even though they were looking at the people on the hill and not you. So I think you could have done more damage that way. So we just need to wait. Oop, my screen just jumped. We need to wait a little bit more before we get into the next match. There's 6 minutes left before the room invite is up. I'm not going to risk it. No, actually I can. That's because I have a replay that's only 3.5 minutes long. I'm going to show you it, even though it's also the shot itself that this replay is all about. Has been shown in Darren's video and in some GIFs and everything. His royal slimness, of course, if I remember right, is Darren's press account on NA. And Iverson is, well, Iverson. They're both driving Sidewinders. They kind of know each other here. And again, Iverson aiming at the sky. Straight off. It's not supremacy, so there's no capping bases here. But this is what this is one of the greatest features as to where missiles should not be in the game. Look at that! Look at that! And Iverson hasn't even shown himself. That is evil. But at least I know I can show you this replay because it's short enough. Ooh, that hit the ground instead. Overall though, that's the second shot that could have been a very cheeky shot. The T92 is now making a move. And that's another one. He takes one back, but the damage done to him is a lot greater than the damage taken from him. And they're gonna reload at almost the same time. Oof. Cheeky. And this... not sure if this is a shot, but I think it is. This shot. If you ever want a reason... no, he's not taking it yet. Oof. That's just evil. This is not even a shot that I was talking about before. Waffle taking a massive hit there. This shot. Look at this. Look at this. That shot. Just that. He kills him all the way on the other side of the map. That is not okay. I mean, it's Iverson, but that is so not okay in any way. It's just ridiculous. Nice little slide there. A waffle here. Nice little fire. And Iverson gets the kill. I thought for a moment that Darren will kill steal. But that was the end of the match. And just that shot though. I mean, he was probably doing it for shits and giggles, but just that shot. That's just evil. Poor guy also did 0 damage to E75. Oof. But yeah, that was a relatively short game. In 2 minutes the room will be up. But that shot, it has been gift, and Darren managed to get a free cam shot of it. And you can just see it from the side that he's shooting and the side that the E75 is at. And just the way that panned, it's insane. It shouldn't happen. If you want to send me replays, I do have certain demands of replays, but you can post it on the on my Discord server, link is in the description of the video. I will look at anyone that joins later on. I approve everyone myself, so just speak up and I should be giving you a rule after the stream. So, we have 1 minute left to go. I'm gonna take a bit of a drink actually, because for some reason in the middle of the night my mouth is a lot drier than the rest of the day. So I tend to drink more during stream. Overall though, these matches have been quite fun. Let's see what's gonna happen in the next matchup that we get. Because I do assume we will get an invite, because I should be attached to the bracket more than just the team. I wonder if these teams are more professionalized-ish teams. Because what we saw with Realistic Tournament, they're really good players. But they didn't have the focus fire down and all of that. There we go, there's a room. And we're up with DDT versus Heartless. But there's still 4.5 minutes, so plenty of time for the rest of the team to arrive. Curious to see Heartless play, we haven't seen him yet tonight. So there we go, both teams have at least 5, so we will get a match. And Heartless is complete as team. So now we just have to wait a little bit, less than 4 minutes now. I'm running out of things to talk about in between, because we already ranted a lot about the missiles. I could rant about the crates, but we all are in agreement the crates are bad and okay. One Jamaican was in the chat earlier. So I'm going to hope she likes the way I commentate things. I hope they have good luck. He is trying the sherry. Less than 3.5 minutes left. We just need to be a little bit more patient. I say that a lot, but the thing is, at some point you kind of run out of things to say, and I tend to repeat myself, but I'm not sure if that is better or worse than falling quiet and not saying anything. I do have some background music for that reason, but at the same time, same when people just DDT is heading a bit towards every side. But Heartless is doing the same thing. Both teams capping the bases closest to them. Base A also being kept uncontested because they're in the middle. We see a rocket fly there by Jamaican, but it doesn't pan. Miklo has lost a little bit of health though. And now the IS-4 really needs to go, really needs to not be there. Because those 2 on 5Bs and the autoloader are pushing. And we see now Dalzax bouncing on the back of the IS-5, E5, sorry. We see the missile not panning. Now, oof, E50M losing a lot of HP there. But they're moving in fast. They want to get Miklo out of the way. There he goes. Don't die yet, is about to die. His name is gonna be a lie. He is gonna die now. And that's 2 guns out of the way. And Heartless has a big gun advantage, but they need to be careful because Edwards is very overextended here, losing a lot of HP. And Markadis, they're taking too much chance here. They don't need to lose their HP like that. Ooh, that was a field rocket. Dalzax moving around, wanting to get after DDT. Looking up, peeking up and over, potentially to get shots into Markadis. Scrap Iron losing a little bit of HP. T22 going after the T22. They need to be careful though, because if he peeks out too far, that FE is gonna get him. Base C now being capped by the Sherry. So for the missiles haven't... I'm not saying anything anymore. Missiles working exactly as intended. Bakila now after the Sheridan. DDT now in trouble. I'm going to take you over there. Basically want to show you everything. Flawless Victory just got massacred. And Dalzad is in trouble. Oh, that was an expansive ram. But it's 5 versus 3. DDT is almost gone. There goes a killer. Fake Alan Walk is the last one left alive. He's not going to be able to do this. And DDT barely has any health left. There goes DDT. There goes Alan Walker. Well, the fake one dies. And the first game is for Heartless. And even though Heartless took a lot of chance because they were peeking out so far, they were taking chances that they didn't need to. Because they were getting the shots in, they were overexposing themselves trying to get more shots in. Again, best of 3, so now the pressure is on DDT to take it home. They need to win the next 2 matches in order to win, whereas Heartless only needs to win 1 more. And we see both teams already with... Ooh, not sure what's happening there. Both teams already with half a minute left to go. We see an IS-4, 268, 2 215Bs, 2 T22 medium and T57 heavy on DDT's side versus a Sherry, 2 IS-4s, an E50M, a T22, a Chieftain MK6 and a 140. Oof, DDT just went offline. That's not very hopeful. Hope he gets back in time. Not much that can be done about that though, because it's all automated this. So here we go. Hope for DDT that he's gonna be back in time to actually join the fight. Let's see what's gonna happen. Oh, my game just closed itself. That's not very hopeful. Hopefully I get back in time. Come on. Restarting the game now. As you can see. Adjusting the width back to where it should be. And here we go into the game again. It's been doing that a lot though, crashing. The BC app that is, not the normal one. But for some reason it's been crashing a lot lately. And it's annoying. Wargaming can't see anything wrong on server side, so no idea what is happening. But we didn't miss much, we only missed 20 seconds here, so... And there we go. Base D being taken. Random shots not connecting. Oof. Random missile not connecting either. They have the base, the point advantage. Base B now being capped. That is a tricky thing to do. Base C being left alone. T22, Miklo, potentially in trouble. But he's putting back to safety. And now the base advantage is in DDT's side. Oof. Miklo definitely being focused here. I wonder what shot the Sherry. They're getting in each other's way a little bit. That is very tricky. And we see the rest of them heading. Ooh, that is a big hit into Black Knight there. Black Knight not going to survive for long there. Jamaican also losing a ton of HP. There goes Black Knight. This was a very much YOLO game by Heartless. They're too overextended. They're not working together. If they had stuck together and pushed together, it would have been a very different case, but they haven't. And look at the HP just being black from all of them, really. Chieftain now in trouble, losing a lot of HP. There goes Edward. And Marcadise might not even die before the Chieftain is gone. That bounce definitely helped though. And that fire as well. But overall, they're losing guns way too fast. This is definitely going to be DDT's game. Dalzak's not going to survive for long. Flawless victory. In trouble. 1 of 2 left. Sheridan at the back, reloading. Oof, he takes one out. But he's lost a lot of HP there. And the Sheridan does not pan that shot. There he goes. And now only Jamaican is left. And he's hightailing it out of there, but he's not going to survive this. He could potentially take out the T22, but he does not. He misses. Look at the path of that missile. And that will be the end of Jamaican. And there he goes. And now we get a tiebreaker. Of course, need to load in first properly because, well, that is what the game does. And there we go. Look at the difference in damage though, that's quite a big difference. So let's ready up before the game kicks me out again so that we will at least get into the match. It is 1-1. We are going to Winter Malinovka for the tiebreaker for these finals tonight. And we will see the teams we've seen tonight. Partially back tomorrow because top 4 of this group, the only group of an A, will be the finals teams tomorrow. So, we see an IS-4 268, 2 215 BC T-Fuse and Heavy and 2 T22 mediums versus 3 IS-4s, a Sherry, an E50M, a T22 and another E50M and a T59 MK6. So let's see what happens in this last match of the evening. My vehicle does not look good that way. But the second game was really just Heartless just randomly going places. They didn't work together. They didn't pincer together. And they took way too many chances. Exposed themselves way too much. And got massacred for it. So let's see what's gonna happen in this final match. I would expect there to be a lot of action around base C in this case. Because that is what we've been seeing so far. And we see both teams heading towards base C. Which could potentially be interesting to watch. Oof! That was an expensive crossover. DDT already losing a chunk of health there. Miklo moving into the middle more. Fake and Walker taking some damage there as well. Base B now being able to be taken uncontested because they can't really get many shots in, and that shot did not do any damage. Edward losing a little bit of HP, but they have base B. Flawless victory. Wanting to take a shot into Fake Allen. And they have to be a bit more careful. IS-4 is moving in. Edward losing a bit of HE damage there. Nice flank by the E50 there. But now he's getting a angry 268 aiming at him. DDT is aiming at him as well. T22 is moving in. Massive hit into flawless victory, but the 268 is almost gone. And if you had been a little bit more patient with that shot, you would still have this chunk of health that you're likely gonna lose now. But look at that, fake Alan Walker's almost gone. Miklo is not looking healthy. Ooh, big hit into the chieftain there. And they're just ignoring the object now in favor of the T22 that came to rescue him, but is now in big trouble. There he goes, fake Alan Walker, the first one to go. Oh, no, sorry, not fake Alan Walker, Miklo, the first one to go. Fake Alan Walker is the next one to go. And they're moving in, Edward is gone. But overall, look at this. DDT is now being focused. Big hit by Jamaican there. He is losing HP over it. But there was a nice hit. And Heartless has the bases. They have the guns. But they need to play this carefully. They're protecting base B tooth and nail. And they can afford to. DDT almost gone there. HEing him, which is not necessarily the best thing to do. Now we have Markadis moving in. And that miss was very expensive potentially. They are trying to get base B. But he's gonna die before they do. They want to get flawless victory out of the way. But that will be very difficult. They are focusing on it. IS-4 is now actually blocking Markadis' shot. So he can survive a little bit longer. There goes Kille. There goes Don't Die Yet. There goes Markadis. And we are at 1k points and Heartless is taking it home tonight. Very well played. Patient gameplay. That defense of base B really worked. And again, it's more the taking too much of a chance that is eventually deciding who's the winner. Overall though, really entertaining games. I did enjoy this. And that's the thing though, Realistic Tournament, it makes people think differently. Earlier today we saw a flanking maneuver on Normandy. Well, not even a flanking. Basically we're pushing through base B to get behind the enemy and then shooting the bomb. Which meant that they even though the enemy knew that they would probably be doing that, they got some free damage in, and that makes all the difference because then you start out with an advantage. So, that is actually it for tonight. That is the result. We don't have to wait for the result of any other group because there's only one group here. So let's have a quick look there. These are the 4 teams we see tomorrow. DDT, Heartless, Realistic and Infiltrate. Those are the teams we see tomorrow and should be fun. This teams are drawn, but we don't know who is up against who yet. So that is it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna go back to bed and I'll be seeing you guys in let's think 7-ish hours, almost a little bit more, for Jamaican. Don't do that. Hang on. Don't spoiler. Anyhow, that is it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. I'm looking forward to the battles tomorrow for Asia and EU and NA again. I'll also be the only one streaming it, so you will have to make do with me. So, like I said, that is it for tonight. See you all in about 7 hours. And good night for now. Bye bye.